The game of the century is a famous chess game that was played between Donald Byrne and a 13-year-old Bobby Fischer at the Rosenwald Memorial Tournament in New York City on October 17, 1956. White moves knight to f3. Black moves knight to f6. White moves pawn to c4. Black plays g6. White moves knight to c3. Black fianchettos bishop to g7. White advances pawn to d4. Black castles kingside. White develops bishop to f4. Black pushes pawn to d5. White's queen moves to b3. Black captures pawn on c4. White's queen recaptures pawn on c4. Black plays c6. White pushes pawn to e4. Black develops knight to d7. White's rook moves to d1. Black repositions knight to b6. White's queen moves to c5. Black develops bishop to g4. White's bishop moves to g5. Black's knight jumps to a 4. White's queen retreats to a 3. Black's knight captures on c3. White recaptures on c3 with pawn. Black's knight jumps to e4. White's bishop captures on e7. Black's queen moves to b6. White's bishop moves to c4. Black's knight captures on c3. White's bishop moves to c5. Black rooks move to e8 with check. White's king moves to f1. Black develops bishop to e6. White's bishop captures queen on b6. Black's bishop captures on c4 with check. White's king moves to g1. Black's knight moves to e2, checks king on g2. White's king retreats back to f1. Black knight moved to d4, bishop checks king, king goes back again to g1. Black checks king on e2, king goes back again to f1. Black's knight checks c3, king goes back again to g1. Black captures bishop on b6. White's queen goes to b4. Black rook goes to a 4. Queen captures pawn on b6. Black knight captures rook d1. h3 is played by white. Black rook goes a2. King goes h2. Black knight captures pawn on f2. Rook goes e1. Black rook captures rook e1. Queen checks d8. Black bishop goes f8. White's knight goes to e1 and captures rook. Black bishop goes d5. White's knight goes to f3. Black's knight goes to e4. White's queen goes to b8. Black's pawn advances b5. h4 is played by white. Black plays h5. Knight jumps to e5. Black king goes g7. White's king goes to g1. Black's bishop moves to c5. White's king goes to f1. Black's knight moves to g3 and checks king on f1. White's king goes e1. Black's bishop moves to b4 and checks king on e1. White's king goes d1. Black's bishop moves to b3 and checks king on d1. White's king goes c1. Black's knight moves to e2 and checks king on c1. White's king goes b1. Black's knight moves to c3 and checks king on b1. White's king goes c1. Rook to c2 is played by black, resulting in checkmate.